OCO, free thinkers.
I make you think, yeah. I make you think, I make you think.
To support this exciting renewal this morning, I'm pleased to announce that on May 17th, 2026, that we're inviting Americans from all across the country to come together on our national mall to pray, to give thanks, and we are going to do something that everyone said, like, that's tough. We're going to rededicate America as one nation under God. You know, a lot of people, we're going to rededicate America as one nation under God. You know, a lot of people. Yeah, thank you very much. That's what I mean by the Spirit. It's so incredible to see it. I see it so much. I've never seen anything like it in 1 year. I thought it would take 2 years, 3 years, 4 years to be where we are. Well, we've done it in, really 10 months. We're at 12, but now it's just getting to a level that we've never reached before as a country. But that includes religion. And maybe that's part of the reason that we're doing so well. There's such great spirit. It's all spirit, and it includes religion. I've always said, you just can't have a great country if you don't have religion. You have to believe in something. You have to believe that what we're doing, there's a reason for it. There has to be a reason for it. We're all working and we're behaving. I behave because I'm afraid not to, okay? Because I don't want to get in trouble.
That last part, very important. One more time.
Reason for it. We're all working and we're behaving. I behave because I'm afraid not to, okay? Because I don't want to get in trouble.
All right. Listen, okay. Chad, what he looking up to? You know what? There's a lot of things with this. There's a lot to unpack with just that segment right there. All of it. Number one, let's go back. Returning the nation to be one nation under God. The last time we heard that, we were pledging allegiance. Listen to how this worked. We were pledging allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, right? One nation under God. Okay, so y'all caught that, right? Okay. I agree with you. I agree. I felt that exact same way in Digital 69. I agree with you. Okay, so I'm glad y'all caught that part. Now, another part we're going to have to unpack. The fact that he said that this nation is nothing without religion. Notice how he didn't say which religion he's referring to. There's many religious practices. Okay? There's many, even outside the many denominations of the Catholic Christianity Society. YouTube is messing up the feed? No way. No way. Not right now. Ain't no way. There's no way, y'all. Are we good? There's no way that they messing up this feed right now. There's no way. We good, right? Don't let them do that. Don't let them do that. See, every time I'm trying to get deep, they trying to stop. We good? Okay. All right. Damn. They want me to tiptoe around this topic, huh? Okay. So he didn't point out which religion. Let me come back a little bit just in case y'all need a reminder really quick.
Nation under God. You know, a lot of people.
Okay, they did all the clapping, right? And then.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's good. That's what I mean by the Spirit. It's so incredible to see it. I see it so much. I've never seen anything like it in 1 year. I thought it would take 2 years, 3 years, 4 years to be where we are. Well, we've done it in really 10 months. We're at 12, but now it's just getting to a level that we've never reached before as a country. But that includes religion. I mean, and maybe that's part of the reason that we're doing so well. There's such great spirit. It's all spirit, and it includes religion. I've always said, you just can't have a great country if you don't have religion. You have to believe in something.
You can't have a great country unless you have religion. In my book called It Was Told in Reverse, and it's still out there, still for sale, still available right now. The number one thing that colonizers used was not a gun, was not a knife, but it was considered a weapon. In order to colonize a territory that wasn't theirs. Some people say you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Y'all remember years ago I said, but if you live by the pen, then you die by the pen. What our people experienced and what our people went through in the past was called paper genocide. Keep in mind, land was stolen because of paper. Identity was stolen because of paper. Spirituality was stolen because of paper. Languages were stolen because of paper. Heritage was stolen because the paper, right. And then they turn around and say the pen is mightier than the sword. Very good call, Brooklyn. That's right. Because it's all in there. Exactly, Naughty. Exactly, Naughty. It's all in their religion. Republic. In my book called, okay, let me go to a different book. In my book called it is called Fixing America's Broken Promise. I explained to you guys how this nation, so-called nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I explained to you who created this nation. I explained to you church and state. Y'all about to start saying it in the chat, ain't y'all? The Protestant way of life, they wanted you to live by. The Puritan way of life, these were Protestants and Catholics that set up this nation, that are in control of the United States Incorporated Trust. They are at the forefront of that trust agreement. I also showed you in previous videos 3 heads of the same snake. Who were those 3? Spain, France, and England. They lied to us and said that they were against each other, but they literally worked together and wrote agreements with each other. I exposed 2 top treaties that exposed that they're still working together today. Spain, France, and England. Well, no, Portugal wasn't in business. Okay, Portugal wasn't in business to colonize these territories. That's why I didn't mention Portugal. Not these territories. The 13 colonies they didn't have any mark on the 13 colonies. So, okay, y'all got it? That's why they went to Brazil. Right. Okay, you getting it together. The reason why, I'm referring to the time where it was called Spain, Da Vinci. The time that it was called Spain. It was Spain, England, and France. Because France wasn't even called France. But I'm talking about at the time that they created their treaties, where this was even after the doctrine of discovery. This was after, even the doctrine of discovery was written in Latin. But don't forget, I told you, I'm glad y'all mentioned that. Y'all getting this. That Latin was never a spoken language. That's right. It was never a spoken language. So how did they? No, it was the treaties that they agreed to. Not us. Not us. So how were they able to interpret a doctrine? Listen to the term. Doctrine of discovery. How were they able to determine, or how were they able to translate a doctrine that was written in a language that they did not speak? Okay? Religion. It went from one legion to another. Religion. Leeching onto another group of people. That's the underlying message. Leeching onto another group of people. Again, they called this area here the New World. And they translated that doctrine into their own. Yes, the doctrine of discovery was written in a form of Spanish. That's correct. A form of Spanish, not the Spanish that they're speaking today. That is correct. And keep in mind, the French wasn't speaking that language, and neither was the Anglos. But weren't they the ones that used those decrees to come over here to colonize this land? Wait a minute, so how did they know how to translate you see what I'm saying? How did they know how to translate the doctrine of discovery? So they wrote their own doctrine. Then they created congregations, missionary groups. You know I'm about to tell you what I'm about to say. The Congregation for Propagating the Gospel in Foreign Parts. The London Company. They created their own. Go spell. They say every word that we speak is a spell. Yes, that is true. And it can mean both good and bad, depending on how you're casting that spell. It could be for your benefit or for somebody else's benefit, or it could be for your benefit and somebody else's demise. Yes, the Virginia Company of London. Yep, new land to steal from. That's all the doctrine of discovery was about. Stealing and claiming it for themselves. But there was only one way that they could do that, and people skipping it. It wasn't because of a war, at least not a physical war. It was what? A spiritual war. No, don't fight us. God said, listen, God said that we're supposed to have this land. No, you're not supposed to fight back. God doesn't want that for his people. Indoctrination. Doctrine of discovery. Doctrine. Notice I didn't even use the term biblical or Bible or Bibble. Not one time. Didn't have to. It wasn't even called the Bible when they wrote it. They called it the doctrine. Sometimes you will hear pastors refer to it as the doctrine still to this day. Why? Because they're still receiving emails from the Vatican, and they have to go off of either the Catholic Christianity version or they have to go off the Protestant version. This is the reason why it's many denominations and they clash. They pretend to clash when they're all up under one umbrella. Notice all I'm doing is teaching. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm not taking your God away from you. I'm not taking your belief away from you. It's not about that. It's deeper than that. Because you know and I know that God will not put us through anything, or the Creator will not put us through anything that we cannot handle. But in order for you to handle that, you got to get a grip on what has been done. The doctrine was the weapon, not the sword, not the gun, not the disease. Don't forget that they lied and said they brought a disease over here by way of a cloth and killed millions of people. And you believe that lie. Oh, but they were immune to that same disease coming from the seas that I'm talking about goes further than 90 days of traveling from one direction to another. They were able to survive it, but you weren't. They lied to you. That cloth wasn't a physical cloth. That cloth was the doctrine. Somebody else said it. Say his name in the chat. You kill the Indian and save the man. What's his name? And don't you know they say that you are reborn, re-legion? You are a new person, rebirth. Kill the Indian when you're saved, right? Save the man. What was Pratt's first name? I'm quoting that. I'm not making that up. Henry Pratt. The issue was always religion. Religion. That was the issue. It was always the number one issue. Doctrine. Again, this has nothing to do with your religion as far as your belief, but religion has nothing to do with your belief because you was pledging allegiance to the flag, not to God. Notice how I brought that right back up, didn't I? Legion, you pledging allegiance. Look, yes, Richard Henry Pratt, to that flag. I'm skipping up. One nation under God. Toasty. You get it now, don't you? You get it. That's the war. The war wasn't physical. The war was spiritual. In fact, the war is still spiritual. Still. That's why they indoctrinated you with their institutions. Name them. Look up the term institution and look at what is considered to be an institution and guarantee they used it against you. Those were their weapons of mass destruction. All right. Again, I didn't disrespect you. You didn't disrespect me. I'm keeping it light, baby. But I know I'm hitting home. And I'm glad because that's the Creator helping. Because you got to know. Yep. Schools are institutions. Prisons are institutions. Churches are institutions. That's right. That's right. This is why they can't tell you of a war that happened in Africa where they were able to capture 12.5 million enslaved. 12.5 million Africans and then enslave them. They can't tell you a war. Why? Because it never existed. The war was spiritual. And it affected our people in the physical, in the mental, and everywhere else. This was systematically done. And it didn't happen overnight. It took time. Plenty of time at that. Keep in mind, they started coming here. Who was they? The foreigners started coming here in the 1600s. Their government wasn't established until the 1850s. Not 1776. The 1850s. As soon as they implemented a rule where you had to vote for a president, look this up, was the 1850s. Dane is not lying. And that's when it all started. 10 years later, we were allegedly relinquished from servitude. But if you live by the pen and die by the pen, and they say the pen is mightier than the sword, then where's the paperwork that shows that you were manumitted? Toasty! Where's the paperwork that shows that you are no longer enslaved? Where is it? What does that mean, Dane? What you getting into? We're still enslaved. They just don't call it slavery. They don't call it servitude anymore. It's just a different name. They don't call us Indians no more. Listen, they don't call us coloreds no more. We got a different name, don't we? They changed the name, and when sometimes they change the name, you forget about the past. But if you line it up, you'll see that it's the exact same thing. Yes, that's right. They call it employment now. That's right. I employ you to do this job. Oh, you think you're not slaving because you're getting paid? You got another thing coming. Yeah, I showed you that Joe Biden told you that we the people was always referring to the government. I'm going to say it verbatim. He said, when we the people are the government, not some force in the distant capital. He said it right out of his mouth. We the people had nothing to do with the people. It was all about those that were involved in government. that were involved in the institution, in the corporation. That's why the object of the game is to employ yourself. The object of the game, this is a capitalist society. And I showed you in the 1860s, right after slavery, okay? 1870s and 1880s, our people were the biggest capitalists of this society. Those people who were coming over here were poorer than poor. The government felt so bad that they gave them a lift up. And that's what Martin Luther King was telling you about. And that lift up involved land grabbing. That's what I taught you about. And land allotting. They took our shit and gave it to the foreigners. At the same time, America refused to give the Negro any land through an act. Look this act of Congress up that Martin Luther King was talking about. Through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. I keep repeating what Martin Luther King was stating because he was telling you what happened. And he was a Christian. He knew what we needed to do. And they took him out. He was too powerful. Way too many people behind him. Y'all was looking at Michael. Not Martin. Michael. That's his real name. I've been showed you that years ago. Yeah, man, but it was too late. But yeah, that's the reason why, I don't trust the government. I don't trust, Republicans. I don't trust Democrats. And do I trust Trump? No, because Trump can't do anything really. Keep in mind, he got to be obedient. He said it. I don't want to get in trouble. I got it.
There has to be a reason for it. We're all working and we're behaving. I mean, I behave because I'm afraid not to, okay? Because I don't want to get in trouble.
Because I don't want to get in trouble. He told you. No, Dane, he talking about God. Why would he be in trouble with God? If he doesn't turn this nation back over to religion, he's in trouble with God or the folks that are in control of the legion. All right. We're going to end it right there.
OCO, free thinkers.
I make you think, yeah. I make you think, I make you think, yeah. I make you think, yeah. I made you think, yeah. I made you think, I make you think, yeah. I make you
He's
think.
here to make you think.
I make you think, yeah. I make you think, I make you think, yeah. I make you think, yeah. I made you think, yeah. I made you think, I make you think,
It's Dane,
yeah.